Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I really want to talk to you about ways to save money when out and about. I'm sure we've all been there when we're out and we're like, we've got some time on our hands. What are we going to do? Let's have a walk around the shops, and we end up spending money on things that we don't actually need. And then we look back later and we're like, oh my goodness, I actually spent so much more than I thought as well. So I'm hoping that the 4 tips I give you today really do help you save money when out and about. Number 1, have a plan. Don't spend extra time around shops if you don't need to. So if you're going out, think about, what are you going out for? Is it to meet up with someone? Are you going out to do some exercise? Have a specific plan. Figure out how much time you want to spend out there, when you're going to get home, and exactly what you're going to do. Because if you don't have a plan, if you're just like, oh yeah, I need to go and get this done, or I'm just finding time to use up, well, you're going to end up spending extra money. For example, I would go over to the city to exercise. I would do it almost every single day. And if I didn't have a plan, I would often find myself at the shop thinking, well, I don't need to rush home today. Let's have a look around. And I would spend extra money. So if your plan is to meet up with a friend, for example, make sure you know what you're going to do with that friend. Maybe it is to go and have lunch out together. So yes, you're going to spend money on lunch. Not on anything else, on lunch. So make sure you know what your plan is. If it's to exercise, if it's to go shopping, if it's to go and meet up with a friend. That brings me to my next point. If you're going to meet up with someone or you're going for an appointment, maybe you will have to wait. So point number 2 is bring a book. Because if you find yourself waiting for a friend, you might want to walk around, have a look at things, and by default, spend more money. If you bring a book, you sit down, open the book, and engage in that book. Much better than spending money unnecessarily. Some of you might be thinking, oh, well, I've got my phone or some other device. I'll just use that. I have found it not as effective as bringing a book, because with a book, you can fully engage in whatever book you want to read. I've chosen books that help me with something I want to learn more about. So I'm actually making my brain a little bit better at the same time. So maybe take that into consideration as well. If I don't have a book, I'll end up playing games on my phone. Not as good as reading a book is what I think. So number 3, have a shopping list. So if you know you're going to go to the shops to shop, you want to make sure that what you're buying is what you actually need, not just what you want because you forget what you actually need. Or you buy extra of something that's already in the fridge, you come home and go, oh, I already had that. The stuff in the fridge goes off and you have to throw it out. Yes, I have done that before. So bring a shopping list. When I was a kid, my mum would often go shopping without a shopping list. She was very busy, and I totally understand because I've done it so many times myself. But as a kid, I used this to my advantage, because then we would walk around every single aisle and I would have a look at all the chocolate, the lollies, and I would be like, Mum, can we have this? Mum, can we have that? And she would want them too. I'm an adult now and I still want them, so we would end up spending a little bit more on a little bit of chocolate, always a drink. We'd always get a drink because that was just what we did. If we had a shopping list, maybe some of those things we would buy, we wouldn't actually buy with a shopping list. Maybe the drink, maybe not. Think about how much we would have saved if we had a shopping list, if my mum was able to bring a shopping list. But that's okay, she was very busy, no judgment there, because I've also been in the same situation and I'm trying to develop these habits. Bring a shopping list. Also, avoid those chocolate and lolly aisles. What is down there that you need? Give me one thing you might need. Maybe you are preparing for your child's birthday party. I will give you that exception. But not on your normal weekly shopping routine do you need to walk down that aisle. Don't go on an empty stomach either. Because if you go on an empty stomach, your tummy is going to be like, oh, I want this and I want it now, and you're not going to be able to resist. So do not go on an empty stomach. That brings me to my next point. Have a plan about your meals. If you're going to go into the city and it's around lunchtime, maybe eat before you go into the city or into the shopping centre or around whatever shop it is, especially if you're doing your grocery shopping. Because as I say, stomach will be like, give me food now, and you won't be able to resist. So have a plan. Maybe your plan is to say, I'm going to have a meal when I get home. Stick to it. Just have a plan for your meals. Just like you have a plan when you go into the shops or when you go into the city or when you go in to meet a friend. Have a plan for your meals. Otherwise, you'll find yourself eating at a restaurant or buying extra things when you're doing your grocery shopping. So have a plan. I hope these 4 tips have helped you today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you.